Welcome to part 8, everyone. Fungus feeding time. Who's really in charge? Enjoy the show and get in the know. So now that fungus gets into your bloodstream. So now what they say is, yes, sir, we've taken a look at your blood and you've got systemic candidiasis. Oh my God, no. Well, guess what? Right away you want to kill the fungus. But should you be killing the fungus or healing the large intestine? Should you be thinking about what's in your mind and going in your mouth? Should you think about what's coming out the other end? Should you be healing that intestine? Yes. Now we can go after the fungus, but guess what? Don't go after the symptom, go after the cause. And that's the deal. No matter where we go in life, we keep on getting distracted. It just seems to be a maze, doesn't it? And we just, with all the great minds and all the great scientists, and we just can't figure this thing out, right? The doctor says to you, this is all we can do. Go home and get yourself prepared for the worst, right? Or don't worry, we'll keep an eye on that for you. What are you kidding me? What are you kidding me? It's your body. Take responsibility. Take massive action. Okay? So, would you track poo through your house? Well, what do you think happens when these drill bit predators are drilling holes through your large intestine? You're not just taking fungus in, you're taking microscopic poo into your bloodstream. So until you fix that screen door and make it into a steel door, and that it only brings in nutrition and micronutrients and not waste products, then you're going to waste away, because that fungus is going to go in and drill you apart. Okay? Now, the fungus within us is on us. What do you think acne is? Okay? No, they're just going through puberty. Oh, really? Really? First of all, just know something and get this. The skin is the mirror of your large intestine. It tells you how healthy you are at any point in time. And that's the God's truth. And understand something. You don't have to be young, and because you're young, you're cursed with acne. Acne is sugar, refined carbs, processed foods, antibiotics. But then you'll take antibiotics to go in and try to kill the bad bacteria that supposedly is causing your acne. Or you'll be putting these toxic creams on your face, and eventually your face will be all scarred up. But we can get rid of those scars. Yeah, we can. Your body just wants to heal. That's the big deal. And I need you to get this today. But we don't need to do this. Okay? We don't need to get into this problem. But I know you didn't know, but now you do know. Now you do have a choice. Sinus problems. Well, that's a fungus problem, because understand something. Your nose is like a cave. Yes or no? And when you take things in, like what? How about dairy? Dairy is one of the best things to create inflammation in the sinuses. And when you get inflammation, they swell, and that's the pressure. Oh, I have a pressure headache. I have a sinus problem. I can remember when I used to do dairy, and I am a blood type A, and I don't digest dairy well, but nobody can digest. When I say to people, well, are you on dairy? Nope, just do cheese. People don't know that cheese is milk. They do if you say it, but they can't relate it. And meanwhile, when you take one slice of cheese, you got like 5 glasses of milk. And understand what's in that. I'll be going through that in a little bit. But the reality is sugar, okay? Processed sugars, not nature's fruit, nature's foods. I'm not talking about that. So processed sugars, flours, dairy, okay? Rancid oils, okay? And oils that aren't healthy for you. These are all things that can cause sinus problems because they create irritation and inflammation. But fungus is the best one. Fungus will cause more problems in your sinuses than anywhere else. Oh, what about that? Where else will they do it? Well, what about earaches, guys? Isn't this a cave? In this cave, if you were small enough, you could walk from this cave and come out this cave. Or you could go in this cave and walk out this cave. Or you can go in this cave and come out this cave. So they're all kind of connected, okay? So if you know they're all connected, then you know that this can spread. So understand something, earaches, right from earaches to losing your hearing slowly, okay, can be a fungal problem. Crystallization, calcification, scar tissue formation, caused from inflammation from the fungal problem in the first place. Like just even little kids. Oh, we got to get tubes put in our little kids' ears. Well, I hardly ever hear of anything like that in my life unless they're on dairy products. Okay, understand. I'm going to say this. I'm going to show you something in a minute, but let's just get this perfectly clear. Cow's milk is 20 times larger than mother's milk. Okay, well, first of all, then we know that we're not supposed to be doing it. The reason why we drink cow's milk is because we took a look around the planet and we said, where's the biggest udders? Oh, wow, it's a cow. We'll drink that. We can make more money off of that. It's all about that. And understand something. Organic cow's milk is a lot better, but understand something. Everybody will have some form of inflammation from it. And understand something. You're not getting a viable calcium from animal products, dairy. You're getting it from your whole plant-based foods. End of story. Science is all behind it. Okay? So you make the decision. So understand something. And the other thing too, guys, you didn't know this, I'll let you know, that within days after you stop doing breast milk, you lose the enzyme to digest milk. So we all get in trouble after that. There you go. And that is the truth. That's the other half of the story. Okay, so the white coating, signs of oral, what? Yeast infection, but it's overproduction of candida. All right? And then everybody says, well, what are the cracks in there? Well, guess what? Inflammation causes dehydration. Okay? And cracking up, well, did you ever see a river and then it dries up? Well, it's all cracks in the riverbed and in the mud. And that's because you have so much inflammation in your body. But that white coating, you can get rid of that. Because understand something, and you need to get this, body talk. Body talk. You have been taught that your body doesn't talk, it just screams at you, and you're going to tell it to shut the hell up with drugs. That's what you've been taught. You've been taught that pain is the enemy, and we need to kill pain. Well, when you kill pain, you kill yourself. And understand something, pain is a GPS, and when you're off track, emotionally or physically, you're going to be experiencing pain. What you should do is connect to your breath and say, okay, what am I taking in? What am I thinking about that's creating this disruption? What am I eating? What am I drinking that's creating this disruption? And understand something. We're like robots. We keep repeating the same thing over and over again. So guess what? Would you like to be insanely happy or insanely miserable? So decide what your prominent beliefs are going to be in your head, because they're either going to create life or they'll make you dead. And they will. You'll feel dead. You'll feel like you're the walking dead, because you're going to burn yourself out. All right, so let's move on. So fungal. Hey, fungus is something, isn't it? Well, what do you think eczema is? It's a fungal problem. But remember something, where did the root cause come from? The large intestine. Then it went into the bloodstream. Then it went throughout the body. Then it's systemic candidiasis. So now it's coming out through the skin because your cup has overflown. Hey, come on. If I had drip, 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 I don't care how big the pail is, eventually it's going to spill over. And you know when it's spilling over, when the skin you're in, okay, begins to not feel or look good. Because that is the mirror of the large intestine. And understand something, eczema is just junior to psoriasis. Because psoriasis is eczema, but it's eczema gotten worse because you're not doing the right therapy. Do the wrong treatment, you're going to get mistreated. Try to use chemicals to try to kill this, good luck with that. So what do you do? Want to push the chemicals back into your body? Want to push the poisons back into your body? Want to tell your body to shut the hell up? You'll see how that works. You'll see how that works. You're not going to win with this thing. It may go down with the drugs. I guarantee it. If you need relief, use drugs. But understand something, it's what you do with every day. Have you created the perfect day? Because when you create the perfect life, you'll have the perfect health. Oh yeah, someday you will pass from this planet, but you will pass in your sleep, and you will not pass with the last 10, 15 years screaming in pain because you didn't know you needed to have a good bowel movement. You didn't know that you were supposed to heal your large intestine. You didn't know that your large intestine became a screen door like a submarine, and that's why your skin is the shape it's in. And that's psoriasis. Psoriasis is just a thicker scab, more irritation, okay? So let's don't stop there. Hey, what about this? What do you think jock itch is? Okay? What do you think jock itch is? That's a fungal problem. For a man, what do you think vaginitis is? Okay? Same thing. What do you think bladder infections are? That's a fungal problem too. And it may not be a fungal problem, but it's definitely a poop problem. Yes, it is. because I'll be talking about that in a bit. But the reality is remember something, everything you absorb into your blood has to be taken care of by something. And what if those little poo particles had to go through your kidneys and then they went into your bladder, which is a little sac, and then those poo particles would settle to the bottom? And what if those poo particles were infection that inflamed, and then that caused your bladder to get inflamed and want to contract down on itself? Yeah, I think you're getting it. So vaginitis, you can turn that around. I have women that have had vaginitis. I had a lady that called me up. She was 92 years old. How do you like that? And you know what she said? And please don't get me wrong about this, and I don't want to gross anybody else, but she says, I can't stand it anymore, Dr. Wolfe. You got to help me. It smells like fish down there all the time. And I said, don't worry about it. So then I told her what to do, and guess what? She called me back 24 hours later, and she said, now it smells like roses. And guess what? That lady is still with us today. And she's still working with us today. And guess what? That was 3 years ago. And she still smells like roses. Understand something. When you take massive personal action, you can have anything you want. But the only reason why you're not going to have it is because you decided that, guess what? Suffering is the way, but it's not. It doesn't have to be. And what about this? Fungal problems. Well, we're not just talking about fungal problems on the feet, but it's also under the toenails. Like this guy, if we could see his toenails, they are black under there. This is a bad case of fungal infection. But understand something. If we flipped his feet around, you would see that it would look greeny black under his toes. Okay, he didn't get it from work boots. Oh, well, my feet sweat. Well, of course they do. Your feet sweat all the time because they're trying to detoxify because they're so poisoned. Okay, just like the night sweats that a woman will have when she goes into menopause. Because if she didn't have night sweats, I already told you she'd have a fart attack or a heart attack or something like that, because you got to get rid of the toxins and you got to burn them off. So your feet are going to sweat to try to get rid of the toxins. And yes, if the boots were damp, the fungus is going to grow like crazy. But this fungus did not come from boots. This came from a broken down bowel, and from doing antibiotics and eating foods with antibiotics in them and taking other prescription drugs that were going in and annihilating the good bacteria and changing the yeast into fungus. I think you've got it by now, don't you? So aerobic is your yeast and your good bacteria. Anaerobic is the fungus and the bad bacteria, right? Oh, and by the way, guys, cancer is a fungus. Now, I'm not telling you that cancer is caused because of fungus, but understand something. When you have cancer, it's a parasite party. You don't just have fungus. You got bad bacteria, you got viruses, you got worms, you got it all. They all come because your immune system is blowing out. But understand something. The real cause of cancer is deprivation of oxygen. It's because of too much scar tissue. Okay, too much inflammation, too much scar tissue formation, too much calcification. You've lost calcium and you've calcified that whole area. If you block off any area and you decrease the oxygen supply by 35% for even 48 hours, depending on the condition, you can start cellular mutation. That's not me. That's Dr. Otto Warburg, who got the Nobel Prize for discovering this. I didn't give it to him. So understand. Those are the facts. And understand something, everyone. We're addicted to the addiction. Because whether you want to believe this or not, we come home at night. We're just craving the carbs, the sugar, the alcohol. Because those little fungus feeders are going, feed me, feed me. And at nighttime, they'll do it the worst. They'll bring out the tacos, bring out the popcorn, bring out the chips, bring out the ice cream. Because they're saying, hey, we need energy because we want to breed more babies, right? You think you made the decision to have that glass of wine. You think that you made that decision to have that beer or that spaghetti. You think that you made that decision to have those tacos. No. All of a sudden, triggered in your mind was, hey, honey, I'm feeling kind of snacky. No, you're not. They are down below. That's what's going on. So it's fungal feeding time, guys. And understand something. And you need to get this. When we can't digest our emotions, we'll get acid indigestion. When we eat processed foods high in flour, high in sugar, or dairy or high in chemicals, right? The new and improved, right? We are going to get heartburn. And when we get heartburn and we do heartburn drugs, okay, we are going to actually what? Cause stomach cancer. We can cause jaw necrosis because of the acidity of the acids being spewed up like a volcano, and our digestion of our foods is going to go way low. And guess what happens when you do heartburn drugs and you got acid indigestion all the time? Guess what? Your stomach is the guard dog for parasites, for bad bacteria, for worms, because you're supposed to have strong enough acid to digest the foods in the stomach, but also to kill those bugs. That's the guard dog. And when you don't, and when you get weakened in there and the hydrochloric acid becomes weaker, you don't have any teeth. So then those things go through and into your small intestine, and that's when all hell breaks loose. So understand something. If you can't digest an emotion, then you haven't got the tools to understand how to love yourself well yet. Please think about it. That's all I want to say, because everything physical was emotional first. And understand this, everybody, our kids are getting slaughtered. The kids menu, who dreamt that up? Carbonated drinks, refined sugar, artificial foods, processed foods. You know what it stands for? Crap. That's what we feed our kids, crap. I already told you on YouTube there was an advertisement, Oreos cereal, and I guarantee they wouldn't make it if you didn't eat it. But if you stopped eating it, they wouldn't make it. And understand something, parents are adulterated. Oh my God, honey, look at how cheap this meal is. Do you know why? Do you know why that they have all of these refined carbs in there and sugar and flour? Because they're getting your kids ready to become addicts. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. I'm telling you the God's truth. Understand something. The future alcoholics and druggies are now going through the drive-through of McDonald's. Did you get that? So you're creating little druggies and alcoholics. Take a look what's in the food. And don't you dare tell me that those chemicals, okay, aren't drugs, because they are. They are drugs, okay? Don't tell me those colors, artificial colors. Don't tell me those artificial flavors. Don't tell me those artificial ingredients. And don't tell me that all those refined carbs, flour and sugar and dairy isn't making these guys little alcoholics later. Because you're setting them up to get their sugar fix, their flour fix, their chemical fix. Where are they going to get it later? Okay? They're little kids now. But later, they're going to want big boy, big girl toys, big girl addictions, big boy addictions. That's how it works. Doesn't it work like that? So, and it doesn't stop there. If you kids are really good, you're going to get a treat. Honey, want a treat? And then we poison them. Wow. And that's because we were poisoned first. And we trusted food corporations. We trusted our government to be the watchdog. Well, let me tell you something. They're in a corner store right now. And corner stores have more cancer-causing chemicals than anywhere else. And they're on every corner. So tell me there's not an evil plot. Okay. Oh, Daryl, you're just being a drama queen. Yeah, when your kid's tummy and they're crying and they've got fever. Okay. And when you take your kids to the doctor and they go, well, you've got to vaccinate. You better vaccinate them. And understand something. Find me kids that haven't been vaccinated. Okay. And I'll find kids that do not have asthma and allergies. And I'll find children that are super healthy children. Find them. And then why in the heck would we ever put something into a child that has mercury when we know mercury's a poison? And why would we put all these other things? I don't even want to say them. And they've never been studied properly. The only thing that's never been studied is vaccinations. Right, okay. And you're going to do that to your children. What is wrong with us? What's wrong with you? Okay, so avoid the crap. Calorie-rich and processed foods, guys. And understand something. Here are the top foods and food ingredients that promote inflammation, constipation, infection. Do you get this? You can go through this. You can stop the video if you want. But that's the reality. Take a look at these foods. Are they coming into your house? Then you're the terrorist. understand this too. Here it is. Here, what's in a glass of milk? 135 million pus cells, blood and feces, up to 20 painkillers, antibiotics, growth hormones, 20 different painkillers, antibiotics and growth hormones, bacteria and pathogens, IGF, and one bovine growth hormone, acidic protein, toxic milk protein, and it's known as casein, that we can't break down, that is inflammatory to us. And whether you believe this or not, dairy is one of the most inflammatory, cancer-causing products on the planet. What do you think it's doing to your bowel? Go eat a piece of cheese. Go ahead, have some pizza tonight, have a grilled cheese, or just eat a piece of cheese, and tell me how your bowel's moving in the morning, and tell me that you just didn't put a cork up there. So, you can go through this. Here's the 23 restaurants that have the most antibiotics in their meats. So check that out. And remember something, everyone. It's not what comes out on an emotional level, on a physical level. It's what stays in that can be your downfall on a physical and emotional level. And what did I say? What did I say? Okay, welcome to the Parasite Party. Fungus, worms, bad bacteria, viruses. If you want to just create a manure pile down in your lower abdomen, okay, because you know you are. You'll know by the pain train that you're living on right now. You'll know by how you suffer. You'll know by how stinky your bowel movements are. You know, you go to the bathroom and somebody walks in the bathroom. Don't anybody come in here. Holy crap. That's right. Holy crap. So understand something, everyone. Take a look at this slide. Explode, implode, or you better dump that toxic load. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. Check out the Daily Cleansing Tea, Black Gold, Tummy Love. Those three things, they're going to save your butt. And they're going to save a lot more because your butt is just the first part of that domino effect. The dominoes fall and they keep falling. This is the end of part 8, fungus feeding time. We will see you in part 9, the domino effect.